strategic research. So, some of you may remember this letter on the right-hand side. If you don't, I suggest you read it. It's from Vito Bobrowskis, and he says, it's an editorial in fact, redefining the value of pi in the European Union. So he was very dismissive of the single burning item, and I know some people will be talking about it later today. Paul Croce, who I'm quoting here from Interflam in 2001, he was then chairman of the Forum, the International Forum for Fire Research. And he expressed the view of the Forum at the time that as the national labs become privatised or commercialised, their focus will be on income-producing activities, such as standardised testing, and not on research. And that then has a dual negative effect, the erosion of fundamental research and the spread of questionable testing. How much time do I have after 10:30? 5 minutes? Okay, I'm now going to have a rant about scientific research. This document was prepared in 1995 and was put together by the UK Building Ministry and was a strategic research programme intended to deliver a secure fire engineering capability by the year 2005. It was published, it was binned as far as I know. To achieve by the year 2005 scientifically based and fully developed fire safety engineering package. Where is it? The areas were identified. Obviously these are very general areas and we can skip over those now without much time. I've put some specifics in, but time's short. But that wasn't the only document. There were tons of them, not just in the UK but overseas as well. Professor Drysdale and Dennis Davis wrote to the Chief Scientific Advisor in the year 2000, I think it was, to Robert May at the time, with his concerns, their concerns, on behalf of the IFE and the IFSS about this issue. And government did what it does. It set up a committee and we sat around at meetings week after week after week, came up with a document, nothing happened. And there are other examples here drawn from various places. Dougal mentioned the United Engineering Foundation meeting in San Diego, top right-hand corner. In there is a research strategy that's identified. To be fair, in the United States, things were naturally affected by the collapse of the World Trade Centers. That was issued early in 2001. But there is a document in the middle that argues that that shouldn't derail the attempts to undertake the needed research to support fire engineering. This was produced by Dave Luck. European Commission down here on reaction to fire testing. Top left-hand corner was another attempt by the Fire Safety Advisory Board of the OETM in those days to put the research agenda, to agree a research agenda with industry. So the research was identified, it was costed and published, agreed with all the stakeholders. Nothing's happened. Right, that's the list. Right, okay, so I'm coming to the end now. I managed to find an old photograph of Philip. And on the right-hand side is the kind of paper that Jose might have been struggling with. You know, can you really understand this stuff? It bears study. And what I wanted to say is Philip started his career in the 1950s at a time when scientific research had demonstrated its utility. It had been very successful in assisting in winning the war. The public understood that, and there was a lot of enthusiasm for science at that time. I think we now live in a more agnostic era in which people are not so clear about the future in terms of scientific research. But it's my view that although we see some wonderful work going on here at the University of Edinburgh, I'm very pleased to see that, that there is a danger that the fire engineering packages that are now being used in practice are wanting, and it may be that we have to wait until there's some disaster that can be pointed at fire safety engineering before people will realise that they need to do their research. So I'll end it on that point. Thank you. I'll leave that slide.
We've got time to any common questions, if there are any before.
Can I ask you to read that slide? It's very amusing and doesn't have just to Englishmen, but it's certainly difficult. Propose to any Englishman a principle or instrument, however admirable, you observe that the whole effort of the English mind is directed at finding a difficulty, a defect, or an impossibility. If you speak to a machine peeling a potato, he'll pronounce it impossible. If you peel the potato before his eyes, he'll declare it useless because it can't peel iron, so it can't slice the iron. I think that's quite amusing. That was Charles Babbage in 1852, the forerunner of modern computing. I'm sure it's not true of Scott.